Hi, welcome back to Nobody Asked Though, a new channel where we dive deep into statement analysis, starting with Nichol Kessinger in the Chris Watts case. We're going to get straight into it this evening. I'm not going to go through any notes or anything. We're going to save that for a different video because I have quite a few now built up. So we'll do a separate video just for that. So we were up to this little block where Kevin has interrupted again. Cue Kevin. I'm just going to reread through Kevin's question and then read through her answer, and then we're going to get into breaking it down straight away. So Kevin says, so let's just go back real quick. So why did he tell you that he was getting a divorce? Did he ask you out at that time? Nicole replies, no, he didn't. I think he was probably interested in me, and so he talked to me a couple times via his work phone, and I was like, no, like it was still very like friendly conversation. But then when I realized like this man is interested in me, I am interested in him, this is personal, so we got away from the Anadarko thing because I really don't want those guys affiliated with any of this. Okay, I know we went through the first part already. We're not going to go through that part again, but we did touch on, I think he was probably interested in me and following. There's a lot in here, and I don't want to go on too much and dwell on it too much, but I do want to make sure that we break it down properly. And now I already recorded this video, started to record this video, and the video cut out. So instead of editing some videos together, I decided to just start again because I want to be really thorough with this. Okay. This is very sensitive, and that's why I want to be really thorough here. There's 3 of the highest sensitivity indicators, and it's just too much. So why is this so much? What is she sensitive about here? Okay, so this might be a big deal. We'll see. Okay. I think he was probably interested in me. So that's her answering. So as Kevin does, he's asked more than one question in the question. So she's answered, no, he didn't, as in, did he ask you out at that time? Now, what was the second question asked? But it's the first one she answers. So the way she's answered it is very short and to the point. So she's possibly answered that quickly to get it out of the way, and then gone into her explanations and her narrative, because she's building a narrative here, remember. So she's going into her storytelling, all right? So it could be that she's just answered that one quickly to get it out of the way. Now, I wish he had asked here, when did he ask you out? Did he ask you out at that time is a yes or no question. She said no, he didn't, which is a great answer and truthful. I think he was probably interested in me. She hasn't explained what part of the questions he's answering here. It's fine because he's asked a direct question. That's okay. I think, so she's qualifying. He was probably, another qualifier, interested in me, which is, why did he tell you that he was getting a divorce, right? That's the answer to that question. I think he was probably interested in me. Now, I don't like this. And I don't like this because she's told us when he told her he was getting a divorce, which he didn't say, but we've been through that. When she said what he said, she said separated. Kobach has said divorce. She hasn't corrected him, but this is what she wants. She wants us to think that he told her he was getting divorced. So this helps her out. She's happy to accept this language and roll with it. So I think he was probably interested in me, and that's why he told me he was getting a divorce. That's what she's saying. But she's told us that he told her he was getting divorced after he said he had kids, which was right around Father's Day. We've been through all of this. So she gave us basically a time sort of a timeline or a time frame of when he told her this, which was really quickly. It was about within roughly 2 weeks or something, we worked out, according to her vague timeline, you know, as best we can figure it out. But it's really early on. And this was the first time they spoke. So that was when he came into the office, the first time they spoke. So she's alleging that the first time they spoke, he told her he was getting separated, right? And then he mentioned that, yes, I have a, so. I'd always have pretty good, oh no, 1 day. So that wasn't the day. The day that he came into the office wasn't the day that he told her. It was 1 day. She's so confused. I'm sitting here with notes and a pen and writing things down and literally analyzing word by word, and I still can't keep her timeline in any kind of reasonable order. This is why she's doing this. And imagine just Kevin sitting there listening for the first time. I've heard this interview dozens and dozens of times. I've listened to this, transcribing. Before I started, I was just listening and doing it in my head and watching other channels that are watching it. And so 1 day he just told me that he had kids, but we know that she's already told us he said that around Father's Day. Okay, so it was around 2 weeks in. We don't know when this 1 day was that he came into the office and they were having these issues with equipment. We don't know when that was, but we know that when he told her he had kids and was getting separated, allegedly, that was right around Father's Day. Okay. So if I've missed something or I've made a mistake, please put it in the comments, so that we can keep this together because it's really difficult to keep it all together. Okay. So we know that was right around Father's Day. And then I think he was probably interested in me. So this has been, what, maximum 2 weeks? And she thinks he told her he was getting separated because she thinks he was interested in her. Like, it was Father's Day. It probably came up in conversation. I don't like this. Anyway, okay, so this is her pushing her narrative, building her story, trying to influence the listener, okay, with her version of events that she wants to push, okay. I think he was probably interested in me. So she can't say that with any conviction because this is narrative building. It's not what she knows to be true, what happened, what's, you know, just memory and recall, experiential memory, something that happened that she's recalling and she's explaining it as she's recalling it. And so, okay, so she's losing confidence here. So is the highest sensitivity. So this is really sensitive to her. Now, one might say it's really sensitive to her because of her image and how it looks. I think I've been through this before already. That channel I was watching, and they said that what's coming up around about here and forward, what's coming up was a truthful statement. Truthfulness indicated, and I just could not believe they were saying that. One could argue it's because of her reputation, her image. She doesn't want to look bad. It's not good for her narrative. That is true. It's not good for her narrative. But I would say it indicates that she's sensitive because it's not true. Okay, and the language does support this moving forward. This language supports it already, but if you want to label the sensitivity and the qualifying and he was interested in me, you know, it's accusatory towards him. It's he was into me, not there was something there between us. I think there was a mutual attraction. Maybe he wanted me to know he was single because there was some kind of chemistry. It's not a mutual thing. She's putting it on him again, which is this narrative of it's him, I'm innocent, I didn't do anything, I didn't know, it's not my fault. So I don't believe this is because she's concerned for her reputation. I don't. And language moving forward is going to support this, okay? So right here, if you wanted to argue it's for her reputation, okay, maybe fine, let's do that. And then as we move forward, the language and the analysis will support fabrication rather than reputation as a reason for the sensitivities. Does that make sense? Let's move on. I think he was probably interested in me. So we've got the accusatory language again. And she has to say this again. She repeats this over and over that he was into me, he was into me, he was into me. It's him, because it wasn't. Because she was pursuing him, and she needs us to believe the opposite. So that's why she keeps saying this is repetitive language. She keeps saying that he that, he was into me, he was talking to me, he, you know, because if it wasn't her, she wouldn't need to keep repeating this language. I hope that makes sense. This will become more clear moving forward, okay? As we continue to point this out, that she's doing it, it's overkill, it's persuasion. Persuasion has a need to persuade, right? She wouldn't need to keep saying it if it were true. We'll just leave it at that. And so she's losing confidence. She's nervous. This is really sensitive to her. So she's so concerned with making this his fault and him pursuing her and putting all of the blame on him, and he started it and he continued it and he did this and he did that, that she's even lost her footing here. So she's lost confidence. She's lost her train of thought, right? She's lost where she's going next, because she's not thinking and speaking freely and naturally, and it's not flowing because she's so concerned, because it's so sensitive. She's concerned with what she's saying and the thoughts that she's having, and the thoughts that she's having don't match the words she's saying. So when she's saying something, next thing doesn't just come out, because she's saying something and she's got to think about, okay, what, and so next, and she's basically making it up on the spot. So it's an indication of fabrication, of deception. Sensitivity is not always an indication of deception. I am going to keep repeating this. There's things I'm going to keep repeating because we're doing a thorough analysis here, and I want this to be seen by the right people who may be able to use it, who it might be helpful to. I want my analysis to be clear, okay? So it's what she's saying when she's losing confidence here, and when she's using the highest sensitivity language, as in so or because, and explaining something without being asked and over explaining, right? The language around it is the reason, okay? There can be multiple possibilities, but the language around it will indicate what the possibilities are, okay? So it's all about context, remember. And so and is continuous. It's additional. It's cumulative. So she's continuing a point or a thought here, but then she stops with the and says so to explain something, Then she stops again. So she's self-editing. She's self-correcting. There's an interruption in her flow of language, a flow of thoughts, okay? So she's stopping herself from saying something. She's lost. She's not sure what she's saying next. She hasn't immediately self-corrected to something else. Like an example of that is Kevin's question. So let's go back real quick. So he may have been going to say, so he told you, but rather than that, he's self-corrected and self-edited, immediately changed to, why did he tell you? So why did he tell you? So he's self-corrected himself, but immediately, because he's had the thought and he's started and he's like, that's not the best way to ask that question. A better way would be this. And he's immediately said it, but it's the same thought. It's the same question. It's the same track. Does that make sense? Here, where she's done it, she's completely stopped. She hasn't immediately continued with the correction. Okay. So this would indicate she's not got the rest yet. She's either stopped herself completely, but she said and, she hasn't started a word or anything. So she said and, then there's nothing. So she's scrambling again. She's trying to think of what to say, okay? Then she's come out immediately with he. Talked to me a couple times. More hesitation, stalling, lacks confidence. And so she said I think he was probably interested in me. Maybe she's realized how ridiculous that sounds. Why does she think that? So she's immediately thinking that we're going to wonder why she thinks that. Okay. Well, if it really happened and she said, well, I think he was probably interested in me, and you say she stopped there, right? That was her answer because it was true. Well, I think he was probably interested in me. Why did you think he was interested in you? What did he do to make you think that? One of those, a question that asked her why she thought that, what led her to believe she thought that. Did he do something to make you think that? That sort of thing, right? But nobody said anything. So if she actually did think he was interested in her, there would be a reason. Well, because he kept coming into my office, or because we were flirting with each other, or because there was a mutual attraction. It was obvious we were attracted to each other. There would be some reason, and it wouldn't be a big deal because it just is. It's just the reason. So you would just say it, or I don't know, I just sort of got the feeling that he was interested in me. You know, when you sort of get the feeling someone's interested in you, that's a good enough reason to think someone's interested in you if you're being asked about it. That's a good enough reason. She hasn't even been asked, and she's giving an explanation, which means she's anticipating someone asking her. And why is she worried about someone asking her why? Because she's worried it's not believable, okay? Generally, when people explain something without being asked, it's because they're worried that you're going to question it, because you might not believe it. But for some reason, they think that if they answer your question for you before you've been asked, you believe it more. You're more likely to just go, oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. But that's not necessarily the case. But possibly being questioned about something that's not true by someone creates more stress if it's not true, okay? If it is true, questions don't bother you. Think about some time you've been questioned about something. If there's a time you've been questioned about something during your lifetime, in the past, whatever, recently, long time ago, have you ever been questioned about something that was true, right? Have you ever been questioned about something that wasn't true? Maybe you didn't want to go somewhere. You said you had a sick relative or something and they weren't sick, and then someone asks you how they are doing or whatever later on, and you get nervous, and it's stressful because we don't like to lie. Well, most of us don't like to lie. Even liars don't. It's not that they don't like to lie, but it's still stressful because they don't want to get caught. Okay. So if you've ever had a situation where you've been questioned, in one context it's true, in one context it's not true, and you can remember the things that you said or how you felt, that's a good way to sort of put yourself into the shoes of the context of the subject here, right? And that's how you can get a feel for the expected and the unexpected, right? Because that's the expected and the unexpected in context is what this is all about. Some things in one context are fine and normal, and in another context they're very strange and odd and suspicious even. So it's sensitive to her that she has to explain it. She could just say, I got the feeling he was interested in me. That's the only reason I can think of that he would have told me. Because the only reason that I could think of off the top of my head for why he told her he was getting separated, well, I can't actually. That seems ridiculous to me because I don't think that happened at all. But, you know, telling her he has kids when it's around Father's Day, that makes sense. You know, that would be a reason. Why do you think he told you he had kids right then? Well, it was Father's Day and it came up in conversation. That makes sense. It doesn't make sense for him to say, I've got kids. Oh, yeah. Also, by the way, yes, I do have a wife. And then quote him and change tenses and be all weird about it. And then say, but we're getting separated. Because 2 weeks in, speaking to someone at work in the hallway, having pretty good conversations, having, you know, stuff in common, like it's okay, Nicole, let's see if we can move on. Let's see if I can move on from this right now. I'm outraged. I don't understand. It's fascinating listening to her, really. If you're in the room with her, it must just wash over you. And I think she's been doing this. I was talking to someone in the comments. Oh, thank you so much for commenting, by the way. I've had a couple of comments. I didn't write down the names. I'll mention in the next video. But it's been really nice. I've had some people commenting on their opinions and theories and saying hello, and it's really nice. So thank you for that. So yeah, I think it's probably a common opinion, or a popular opinion maybe, that she's been doing this her whole life, and she does it with such ease. And even though there's a lot of sensitivity here, when you're listening to her, she doesn't sound too stressed. She seems to keep her cool quite well, which is, it's in the context a little bit odd. Maybe some might say suspicious, allegedly, in my opinion. Everything in this video is my opinion, of course. We will say that again just right now while we're on the subject. If someone is not judicially guilty, they are judicially innocent. So everything in this video is my opinion and alleged. Okay, allegedly. So he talked to me a couple times. So again, he talked to me. He talked to me. We didn't talk. There's no we here. He talked to me a couple times. A couple times? Via his work phone. So what did he say? Did he ask you out via his work phone? Did he text you and say there's a gas leak, Nicole? Health and Safety and Environment Officer? She's so vague here. he talked to me a couple times via his work phone. So she doesn't say that he said anything about being interested in her a couple times via his work phone. She doesn't say that. We're just led down that train of thought because she's said "and," which is continuing the thought after I think he was probably interested in me, and so he talked to me a couple times. How do I explain this? There's so much in here. I don't want to dwell on things too much. If you think I'm spending too much time on things, let me know in the comments. I can move through this faster, okay? The reason I'm digging into it so hard is because I want to extract every single drop, molecule, every single fraction of information that is hidden in here. And I don't know what's going to be helpful. Like I said, the point of this is to get seen by the right people and hope that it can help with if this case gets reopened. Also, it's just super fun. I'm obsessed with language analysis, and my spare time is spent doing this anyway. It's just a passion of mine. It's an interest. It's fascination. I watch things on television and analyze it for fun. So I'm doing this anyway for entertainment, for my own self. I'm sure there's other people out there that find it interesting, and I've met some of you in the comments already. Obviously, I watch other channels and I'm in the communities and we chat in those comments, and we're interested in this, right? But I'm not just doing it for entertainment. I'm not just doing it so that we can all enjoy this. We will. But I want to get everything that I can get out of this in case I don't know what's going to be helpful. I don't know if any of this is going to lead to something, is going to help someone to find something that could help down the track. So I want to be thorough. And thank you so much to the people. There's a couple of people that commented on a couple of other videos about the gas sensor alarms at survey. I think it's 319. I think that's the one we're talking about. I would say so. And that someone turned off the alarms, and I didn't know that. So I could see the sensitivities in and around the language about her job role and stuff like that. So if that was part of her job role, that makes sense for the sensitivities to be there. So if you have any information, and it has to be certain, has to be definite facts. It can't be opinions. We can have opinions in the comments. That's fine. And I want to read all of your opinions. There's no problem. I'm enjoying that. Chatting back and forth and sharing opinions. But if you know the factual information that can support what we're seeing in the language, that's really helpful. And I really do appreciate that, because it can eliminate other options, or it can just show us why something's sensitive, and that could lead to something that's important. That could lead to something that needs to be looked into. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Keep doing that. If you know something that I don't know a lot of details about this case, because I'm mostly been focused on the language and the interviews and the interrogations and stuff like that. So there's been a lot of videos I've missed that have details of the case. All right. He talked to me a couple times via his work phone. Now, is this sensitive because it was a work phone and they're not supposed to use that for personal use? So she's putting it on him because she doesn't want to maybe get in trouble, because she's still working for them at this point. I don't think she's not fired at this point. So is that why it's sensitive? Possibly. And that's probably why she said this next bit, actually. That's probably got something to do with that. But she is putting it on him again. He talked to me a couple times via his work phone. So he talked to you a couple times via his work phone. Is such, she's gone very professional again there. Like, I'm professional, I wouldn't do that. He did that, but I wouldn't do that. Just, do you understand how subtle and how constant and repetitive he's the bad one and I'm the good one. He talked to me a couple times via his work phone. I would never do that. You know, it's not on his work phone, via his work phone. And she has to mention via his work phone too. Why does she? Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. He talked to me, his intentions, his pursuit of her. He talked to me a couple times. She doesn't need to say a couple times. I don't believe this. Okay? I don't believe this. Like, I do believe they talk to each other via their work phones. Okay? I do believe that. But I don't believe that's why she thought he was probably interested in her and it was a one-way thing. Like, it was him pursuing her. I don't believe this. I think this is fabricated. And I believe that's why it's sensitive and all over the place and lacks confidence and is qualified. But let's keep going. She's draining me early tonight, guys. He talked to me a couple times via his work phone. So she's losing confidence again here. She's self-correcting, she's stalling, she's checking before she continues. And then, does this need more support? Does this need more help? Does this need more details to persuade, right? And it does. I think he was probably interested in me, and so he talked to me a couple times. Yeah, you've already told us you started talking. We already know you talked a couple times, probably more than a couple times. We know this via his work phone. And I was like, so are we supposed to believe that it's the couple times via his work phone that he talked to you that is the reason you think he was probably interested? There's no reason for her to say this, which means there's a reason she's saying this, okay? In her brain, to her, this is important. It's important she tells us this. We need to know this, right? So if it's completely pointless, why is it so important to her that we know this, right? That's what statement analysis is all about. Everybody chooses their language. If she's chosen this language and she's telling us this information, it's important, right? It's important that she wants us to hear this. It's important that she tells us this. So why? Because this really isn't important. You know, he talked to me a couple times. And time, see? Time, another reference to time, okay? And I know it's the word time, but I'm going to point it out every time. You're going to see the pattern. You're going to see what I'm saying. I think he was probably interested in me, and so he talked to me a couple times via his work phone. He talked to me a couple times via his work phone. Why is it important we know it was via his work phone? Oh, this is bothering me. And I don't want to sit here in real time in the video and dwell on it. Okay, all right. Do you know what? I'm going to go through my original analysis now. I'm going to read through it, okay? And then we're going to continue. All right. So let's see. Let's see what I had before already written down. Okay. No, he didn't. He didn't ask her out. He didn't tell her he was getting divorced because he was asking her out. Okay. So because he hadn't told her he was getting divorced, we don't know what time frame she's referring to here. She could be talking about when he said he was getting separated, but she might be referring to a time when he told her he was getting divorced, or they discussed divorce, or she could be making it up because he never told her he was getting divorced. So because Kevin's introduced language with using the word divorced, and Nicole never said divorced, she said separated. So Kevin is now giving her an opportunity to answer a question that was never asked, which allows her to make something up and takes the pressure off because it's the whole thing's fabricated anyway. Or it allows her to take a different moment in time when what's being asked in the question may have actually happened, but at a different time, and answer the question in that context. So it would be truthful, but it's not truthful for the time frame in which it's being asked. Does that make sense? I'm not sure if I went over that in a previous video, so I'm not going to dwell on that again. I didn't have time to rewatch the video right before I recorded tonight. Normally I will watch the video so I know exactly what I've talked about and everything, but I didn't have time today. So that's frustrating. This is why you don't introduce language. They discussed divorce. She could be making it up because he never told her he was getting divorced, and this is why you can't introduce language, blah, 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 blah. Let's see what else I've got. So this part of the statement has now been contaminated, which it has. We can still analyze her answer, but yes, it has been contaminated, and we have to take that into account when we analyze it. So we can't analyze it without acknowledging the contamination, and we have to allow for the contamination. So we have to analyze around it, right? Okay. Also, he did not ask her out. She never said he asked her out. As in her words, they were just hanging out. So because Kevin's also introduced that language, he's contaminated that too, because she never said that he asked her out. To go to a park, they would have had to have arranged it, organized it, suggested it, talked about it. They would have had to have set something up, organized something, arranged something, right? But she classes that as hanging out, not him asking her out. So again, we don't know now. We have no idea. So we cannot assume that the answers she's given are in answer to the questions he's asked because he's introduced language now, okay? She used the word separated and hung out. He used the word divorced and asked her out, okay? So let's just skip ahead here. I just don't want to spend too much more time on this right now anyway. I think he was probably interested in me. Qualifying language. I was just thinking, I was just reading something just above and making sure it's not relevant to this next part moving forward, but it's not. Qualifying language. We know she's comfortable with definitive statements, so she's not wanting to commit to anything here. So I was talking in the comments with someone, and they were saying about qualifiers, and that qualifiers, they reduce the commitment to something, all right? And it can be in someone's sort of language style, or you can use the word baseline. I don't like the word the term baseline in statement analysis, because you don't need any prior information. You just need the statement. The statement is its own baseline. I don't know if that makes sense. You gauge the language, you compare the language of the subject to the language of the subject in different areas of the statement. That's you don't need a baseline, so to speak. But for instance, just say someone does use qualifiers a lot in their language, which I do when I'm doing these videos. I use qualifiers a lot, and I've been through before why that is. So just because someone uses qualifiers a lot, sort of in their everyday language, in their everyday life, in a statement, they still mean something, and they mean something because we still note where and when they're used and compare that to when and where they're not used. So you're comparing it to itself. You're comparing the person's language to their own language. So in statement analysis, we ask the question why, okay? We use context and we ask the question why. Why is this important? Why is this being mentioned in this context? Why is this being mentioned here? Why is this not being mentioned here? So just because someone uses a lot of qualifiers doesn't mean that you can exclude qualifiers from meaning anything, but they still mean something because they'll still be used in some areas and not others. If they're used a lot, then sometimes where they're not used could be a sensitive area. However, qualifiers reduce commitment. So if there is truthful language, okay? It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what your personal language style is. It doesn't matter the way that you usually speak on a day-to-day basis. Given certain contexts, there is still a language of truth or truthfulness or honesty. People that are being honest, people that are being truthful, use the language of truthfulness, okay? We know what the language of truthfulness is because we are able to look back at cases where we know what's happened and analyze language. We are able to look at writings and analyze writings. We're able to analyze everything that's ever been written or spoken and, recorded all the way back through history. And we're able to analyze all of that. And because we know what either happened then or happened since, like there's what am I trying to say here? I think you know what I'm trying to say. It's not guesswork, and we never find out if we were right. We know if we were right or not, right? Because we either know what happened before we analyze, or we find out what happened after we analyze, and we can see if we were correct or not, or what the language meant. Okay, and there's been so much data collected on examples of this that we know what the language of truthfulness is. And it's universal, right? Maybe not specifically with words, because different places have different vocabularies and different cultures, etc. But it's basically the same. So we know what that is. And it doesn't include qualifiers. Okay, qualifiers reduce something, they reduce commitment. When people are truthful, when they're trying to proclaim their innocence or defend their innocence or their honesty, that they're telling the truth, they're adamant. It's very certain language. It's said with conviction, right? Lies are not said like they can be. They can be. Depends who you're talking to. But generally, it's not a general rule that lies are said with conviction, okay? Qualifiers are usually used in deceit, not truthfulness, okay? That's just a fact. So somebody using qualifiers all the time is fine, and it doesn't always mean that they're lying, but we can still analyze that. So we know she's comfortable with statements that are said with conviction and are certain, because we've seen her do this leading up to now, okay? She's done it in a couple of different instances. So she's not wanting to commit to this. She's not able to say it with conviction, okay? That's why it's qualified. If she was able to say it with conviction, she would, okay? Because of the law, the law of economy. She wouldn't add extra words in for no reason, okay? She already said they started hanging out. They met up in secret, okay? Tell me his wife knew about that and was cool with it, right? Tell me she was fine with it. No, it was in secret. It was a secret. She's never mentioned that she thought his wife knew where he was when he was with her, or that he had told his wife about her. So why say think probably? She knows he was interested because they began a relationship. They had hung out. They had already started seeing each other at this point. Although the question backtracks. So, Kevin. Oh, Kevin. She says that they hung out. They started hanging out. They hung out. They went to a park. They hung out at a park. Then Kevin says, oh, let's just go back a second. When he asked you out, why do you think he did that? What did he say? Kevin. Why did he tell you he's getting a divorce? Did he ask you out? He's completely just overlooked what she's just said. Completely dismissed it. I don't even think he was listening. He was too busy thinking about his thought that he was having, or that he thought he had, you know, made a huge breakthrough or something. So that's kind of cancelled out. What does it say? Think probably. That's not why she's qualifying it there. Okay, so this is, I wrote this before. Then in real time, more is coming out. She couldn't have, it couldn't be, the qualifying couldn't be, why say think and probably? Why qualify it when she knows he was interested in her because they had already begun a relationship? They'd already started hanging out. But Kevin backtracked the question, okay? So this isn't actually really applicable here, because he's backtracked it to before they were hanging out. So that's not really, I can see what past me was thinking, but the language doesn't support that. Kevin's done what Kevin does. Her unwillingness to be straightforward about obvious things creates questions about why. That sort of does still count though, because like I mentioned before, because I thought he was interested in me is a valid reason. You can think people are interested in you because of, you know, they look at you a certain way, or you get a vibe when you're around them. You don't, she could just say that. It's fine. It's reasonable. She doesn't need to go, oh, because he's talking to me and all that. She doesn't need to do that. So it's suspicious, and it's persuasive, and it's narrative building, and it's too much. It's suspicious. It's odd. So is a higher sensitivity. So I don't believe her. So I don't believe her. Yeah, she knew he was interested because she knew he was interested. But also, I don't believe he did say that, as I keep saying. So this whole answer is made up because the question she was answering never happened. I don't believe he did tell her he was getting separated. Kevin says divorced, but I don't believe he did tell her he was getting separated. And the very fact that she's answering a question where Kevin used language that she hadn't used, and it means something different, and she's still answering it. She's still answering it like it happened, when that's not even what she said happened. So it's not even true. Kind of shows that she's fabricating this whole thing. Does that make sense? So if you asked me why I shaved my head, and I started to explain to you why I shaved my head while I'm sitting here with hair, that's a bit mad. Right? Does that analogy make sense? He's asked her a question, but because he's changed the language, that never happened. She didn't correct him. She's just gone on to answer the question. So it makes me think that her original claim, which Kevin has repeated but changed the language and questioned her about, never happened to begin with, because when he's changed the language, and so he's changed what happened, she never corrected it. She's just answered the question. She just carried on and answered the question, because I don't think that it ever happened to begin with. So it doesn't, him changing the language doesn't affect her answer, because it never happened anyway. Does that make sense? She's so ridiculous. I just can't. Sometimes when I'm listening to her, and even when I'm analysing, because I don't have that written here. I don't have that written here. This is just what I'm thinking now. Having already analysed it, listened to it again, reading through it now. She's unbelievable, this woman. She's unbelievable. And it's in real time. It goes over your head, because it's all happening so fast, and there's so much. She's so confusing, and that's the whole point of it. I don't know if you've seen the movie Someone Like You with Hugh Jackman and Ashley Judd. I think that's their names. And they're talking about something in the movie, and old cow and new cow. It's really funny. You should watch it. I don't know if you might not like it. Don't watch it. Whatever. But they mention in the movie, it's just popped into my head. See, this is what my head does. This is what happens 24/7. And they're explaining how there's actually some animals, like little bush mice and stuff, probably little creatures that don't have venom and teeth and claws and things. And one of their defense mechanisms for survival is actually to change direction really quickly, multiple times, to confuse the predator so they can get away. And that's what Nicole's doing. Sorry, I thought that was funny. It's a real life tactic out, in the wild. So she's obviously doing that. Okay, let's continue. Every time. Okay, so he talked to me, when earlier it was every time I talked to him. So that's leakage there. She's slipped up, and she's consciously pushing her narrative, right? Because we've got the and so right? So and so she's stumbling, she's stalling, she's nervous, she lacks confidence. He talked to me, right? So she's self-editing. She's deliberately, consciously choosing the words that she's saying now, because it's slowing the speed of transmission. It's interrupting the flow. It's interrupting and slowing down the speed of transmission. Okay. So that's how we know that she's self-editing and choosing her words carefully. Now, when she's choosing her words carefully, she's saying, he talked to me. He talked to me. But earlier, when she wasn't slowing it down and consciously, carefully choosing what she was saying and being very aware of her language that she was using and very deliberate. When she was just speaking freely, she said, every time I saw him in the hallway, right? So that slipped out that it was her intent and her pursuit of him. That's what really was happening, okay? So this language here supports that. And this language here supports that because of the interruptions here and the lack of confidence and conviction, okay? So that's how this language supports that language, that indicator, okay? Or that theory that I have about why it's sensitive. But it's in the language. It's not a theory I have out of just in my opinion. It's from the language. So she is pushing her narrative here. She is pushing this idea that he talked to me, because when she's speaking freely, every time I saw him in the hallway, he didn't see me. Every time he saw me in the hallway, nope. Every time we ran into each other in the hallway, nope. Every time I saw him in the hallway. But he talked to me, right? So this is the, it's him, I'm a victim, it's not my fault, I didn't do anything. Via his work phone. On a phone you talk via phone calls. Otherwise you text. So she said talk, right? He talked to me. We didn't talk. But we talked would be more expected. He talked to me a couple times. Did you not respond? Was it a one-way interaction, communication, conversation? Did you not say anything in response? Did you not say anything back to him, Nicole? How was he talking to you via his work phone? You weren't talking. We weren't talking. It doesn't make sense. Now I've got here, on a phone you talk via phone calls, otherwise you text. Now she did say talk. This would be something that future language and further analysis would indicate, okay? Because we can flag this here and we can say, now she said talked. When you talk, it's verbal, right? It's verbal communication. If you send each other a message, you're sending each other a message. You're not talking, you're texting, okay? I don't know, but you can talk to someone via messages. We were talking yesterday, but talking implies that it's back and forth, right? If you're talking, that can be via messages. You might not be verbally, audibly communicating. It might just be via text messages and text, but you can be talking. We would note every time she uses this language moving forward, does it mean she's audibly speaking, verbally speaking to someone on the phone, in person, or does she use this language when she is texting? So when she says she's talking, someone was talking to me, if someone's talking to you, it's generally verbally speaking. It's not, you don't often say someone's talking to me and they're texting you. You would say they texted me. When you say you're talking, it implies both ways, and that can mean texting. Does that make sense? I'm not gonna say that in the analysis. That's what that means right here, okay? Because this is the expected versus the unexpected. If he was talking to me, it would be expected it was verbal communication. Phone call, face to face. If it's via the phone, if it's talking via the phone, I would assume it was phone calls because of the word talking, right? If it was texting via the phone, talking via the phone or text, I would assume she would say texting. He was messaging me. Talking implies both ways. But anyway, that's the expected versus the unexpected. We can flag that and make a note of it moving forward. The way she uses that language, the context in which she uses it moving forward, can support what this means here. Okay, does that make sense? So we can't really, we've got the expected versus the unexpected. So we'll flag it because it's unexpected to say this way, in the way she's in the way that she's meaning it. This is unexpected, this language, okay? It doesn't really make sense the way she's saying it. She should say it in a different way for it to be clear, and she's not. And the fact that she's not is an indicator, right? It's a sensitivity. Via his work phone. Again, it's just interesting that she needs to tell us it's his work phone. It's like she's trying to get him in trouble. Like she's trying to make him look bad. Like, he was texting me via his work phone. You know, that's kind of how it sounds. Because this is so unnecessary. She doesn't need to say any of this. Okay, I'm getting annoyed again. All right. Oh, she's so hard to just. I feel like I need a little break. You know, I need to get up and walk outside and have some fresh air when I'm analyzing her language. I've never felt like this analyzing anyone else before, ever. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's like my brain's turning into that dry sponge again. Okay. He talked to me a couple times as well. He talked to me via his work phone. She doesn't need to say a couple. Why are you saying a couple times? It's like, it's extra. Oh, he talked to me a couple times. It must be true then. That must be what happened, because you've said how many times it happened. It's just. And it wasn't a couple times that they talked in total, okay? So the fact she's saying he talked to me a couple times via his work phone. How many times did you talk via email? How much did you communicate? How much did you talk to each other? You know, generally. Why is she saying this here? Why is she saying this here? This is bothering me. We're going to have to come back to this one. I can feel it. I can tell already. We're going to move on, right? It would be odd for her to say he talked to me via his work phone if it was text. It would be more expected for her to say we talked via his work phone, even if it wasn't her work phone, but it was his work phone. So because I don't think she did have a work phone. This is from memory, from a video, from her interview. I think this comes out later. She's talking about the phones. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments, because this is indicated in the language, right? Via his work phone. So we didn't talk via work phones, via his work phone. So I think her phone was her personal phone, and she probably had a landline in her office that was the work phone, because she was health, safety and environment. She wasn't a field operator like him. She worked in the office. So she had an office phone, a landline. He had a work phone because he was out in the field. He needed a device with him to be contacted on, right? So he had a work phone. She didn't. So they communicated via his work phone. Okay, so this language supports she didn't have a work phone, only he did. Okay, I believe that's true. I think that comes up in later language, but this language indicates that anyway. Okay. Yeah, so they probably have, I mean, most workplaces have a policy where you can't use work phones for personal use, right? So she's saying this to make him look bad. Not only to make him look bad, right? Her narrative isn't just to make him look bad. The pattern in her language and the theme that recurs, and we'll point it out every time as we go through, it's not just to make him look bad. The idea is to, at the same time, make her look good. So it doesn't do one thing, it does two things. It makes him look bad, and by making him look bad, she's making herself look good. Okay? And that's what she's doing here. Our mum, he talked to me on his work phone a couple times. Whoops. He's not allowed to do that. Oops. He breaks the rules. He does things he shouldn't. I was like, no, right? Because she wouldn't break the rules. She wouldn't do that. Makes her look, he's breaking the rules. I said no. I said, no, that's not right. That's not the right thing. We shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't talk to me on your work phone. That's not right. Whatever, Nicole. But this is what she's telling us. She needs us to know that he talked to her on his work phone, even though he's not supposed to, and she's the one that shut it down because it was the right thing to do. I'm the good guy. I'm the good guy. I do the right thing. I do the moral thing, the good thing, you know? This is her narrative. She's like, I was like, no. So she's the one putting a stop to it. She's the one with the conscience, the morals, the good intentions, whatever. Okay, not him. She's put a stop to it. I was like, no. Notice that she doesn't say that with conviction either. I was like, instead of, I said no. Or I don't even know another way to say that. She's drained my brain dry. But yeah, she doesn't say that she said no, or she said we shouldn't do this or anything like that. She's like, I was like, no. She's not saying she said it. So I don't believe that she ever said this. I don't believe that. She may have said we should stop doing this because we might get caught, we might get in trouble. She might have said that, and that's why she's saying I was like, no, because she doesn't want to say what she actually said, because it makes her look bad. Because she's saying we shouldn't be doing something, right? Because we can get in trouble. We're doing the wrong thing, right? She doesn't want to include herself with doing the wrong thing. So I was like, no. But maybe what she actually said was, hey, we might get busted. We should probably stop. Because probably what happened, I'm going to go into another. Also, I said in my other video, I don't know why I think that they initially emailed each other. I don't know why I think that he came into her office one day and then there was an email. I just kept saying there was an email. I don't know why it was an email in my head. I don't know if that's something I've subconsciously picked up from language somewhere in an interview, either what I've analysed or what I haven't yet analysed in the interview that I've listened to maybe 100 times. I don't, or maybe another interview, maybe Chris's interview or her second interview or a phone interview. I don't know. I was just thinking about it the other day when I was driving, and I started laughing because I'm like, why do I think that was an email? Because it actually could have been a text, right? It could have been a text. Okay. So I just want to put that out there because I kept saying email. It could have been a text. For some reason in my head, it's an email. I don't know why. So this is another one of my opinions, okay? And the language may come to support this, I don't know. But just in my own head, I think they were saying some stuff like not safe for work stuff. You know what I mean? I think that they were, and both of them, definitely both of them, maybe even her more so, or also like completely just her, only her. Maybe it wasn't both of them, but at the very least it was both of them. I don't believe it was only him saying it. If it was either both of them or just her, not just him. Okay. I think there was some pretty saucy stuff. Maybe pictures. I'm not sure. I'm inclined to think pictures though. I think flirting, but I think it got a little bit saucy. That's what I think, and that's why I think that she said, "Oh, we should get away from the work phone," because I think it was getting a little bit intense. Explicitly, I think it was getting explicit. That's my personal opinion, okay? And that might be why she said, "Hey, we could get busted. We shouldn't be talking on your work phone anymore," okay? Because it probably started on the work phone because he's married and he goes home to his wife and children every night, and he didn't want messages popping up from his mistress. Or because Shanann used to use his phone all the time because she would record things. So she would be recording on her phone for social media, and she would use his phone to do other things, right? And he probably didn't want her accidentally opening his phone and seeing something that she wouldn't like, right? So that's probably why he was messaging her via the work phone. Did he take the work phone? Did he take the, oh, see, my brain is a dry sponge already, an hour into it. Did he take the work phone home with him? Does anybody know? Because if he took the work phone home with him, because he did, didn't he? Because they sometimes would they were on call, and sometimes they had to go to sites without going to the office first. Excuse me. Is that correct? Someone tell me in the comments if that's correct. Because that would make sense why she was messaging him, and he was messaging her on his work phone, because then it wouldn't come through on his personal phone for his wife to see. But then when it started getting a bit raunchy, they had to stop that, because Anadarko probably could have remote access to his phone or check his phone out, like request his phone and check it at any time or something. And they didn't want to get busted because they were getting a bit rude, a bit raunchy. I reckon that's what happened. Okay, what are we up to? I was like, no. So yeah, there was some kind of communication, possibly from her, where they said, hey, we probably shouldn't do this anymore. But I believe it was because there was raunchy stuff being said and they could get busted. But I don't think she had a work phone. It was just his work phone. But she obviously would get in trouble too, because if they saw messages to or from her, she would be involved, even if it wasn't her phone, right? And that's why she says this with the lack of confidence and conviction, because she's aware of, because the brain knows what it knows, right? So she's thinking about it while she's saying it. She's got the thought in her head. We can hear the words she's saying, the words she's choosing to tell us, but the thought, what happened is in her head. So I think that's why she's distancing herself away from the conviction of it. I was like, no. But she's still putting the blame on him because he was messaging her via his work phone, right? They weren't messaging each other or talking to each other. Also, the bill. The work phones. So the work phones supplied by the company, right, the employer would pay the bill. So maybe they were worried about that, about getting busted that way somehow. That someone would check a bill, something would get flagged, something would get, I don't know, maybe that's why. Interesting. Okay, it's just a thought I just had. Like, it was still very like friendly conversation, so that it wasn't. They were getting really raunchy. There was some flirting going on, and I think it was explicit. Like, it was still very, like, friendly conversation. No, it wasn't. They were doing it was inappropriate for a work phone. That's why. It was inappropriate for a work phone. That's what she's saying. That's what she's saying here, okay? I don't know. I'm just... we could break it down and go through every little thing. That's what she's saying here, okay? We still want to break it down, because we want to see if there's anything else, but that's what she's saying. We don't... Still, okay, is another reference to time, all right? Again, another reference to time. It keeps coming up. Still implies ongoing and also a change that comes, okay? If something is still going, it implies it's finishing, but not yet. It implies it's going to be over, but not yet. It implies it's going to change, but not yet, right? If you want to go out, you've got the washing in the machine, and you don't want to go out until it's finished. Maybe someone messages you and says, "Have you left yet?" And you say, "No, I'm still," I'm still waiting for the washing to finish, right? Or the machine is still going. So it's how am I? Oh, she's. This is the problem with her. I can't think when I'm analysing her because she's so draining. I know that you know what I mean. It sort of implies something that's ongoing, like it's started, right? And it's ongoing. But it also implies like a change coming. Like if it's I don't know if I'm explaining that well at all. It's like continuing. It was still very friendly, so it was continuing to be friendly, but it somehow implies that changes in this context. Does that make sense? So it eventually wasn't friendly. It was more than friendly. It was inappropriate for work. But at this point, it was still friendly. So it hadn't yet become something else. It was still this, right? I think that's a better way of saying it. And it also implies not necessarily in this context. In this context, I think it implies an ongoing thing that becomes something else. But at that point, it was still this other thing. It can also mean still ongoing, but like what am I trying to say? An anticipation of it coming to an end or changing. Okay. So it can imply that something is continuing to be something that eventually changes, but it has yet to change, right? Or it can mean something's ongoing and there's anticipation for its end. Does that make sense? So here, like, it was still very friendly conversation. This context sort of indicates that it changed, right? But at this point, it was continuing to be friendly and it had not yet changed. And lacks conviction. It's not sensitive because she's making this up and it wasn't friendly. Not him. Like, it was still very friendly conversation. No, the like weakens her conviction here. I don't believe it was still very like friendly conversation. The like, she's got two likes here, still and very. She's qualifying this because she's realized. So this is the problem. This is the problem when you're fabricating things as you're saying them, okay? She's saying something to fix something she's just said, to explain something she's just said. Then she's realized that might have made it worse or doesn't look good or oops, oh no, that makes me look worse, or that creates this new problem. Now I have to fix that. So this is what she's doing. I was like, no. And then she's gone, oh no. Why would I be like, no, if it was, not explicit or not getting a bit raunchy? And so, like, it was still very like friendly conversation, but because it wasn't, because in her thought she's like, no, we can't be doing this on the work phone. Oh no, I don't want them to know that we were doing that on the work phone. I wasn't meant to tell them that. She didn't actually tell us, but she kind of did. So she didn't tell us what they were doing on the work phone. But because she knows what she knows, when she said, no, I was like, no, not on the work phone. Oh, oops. I don't want them to know we're doing naughty stuff on the work phone. I don't want them to know we're doing that at this point, this early on, whatever it is. This is the thought she's having, so she corrected again. Like, it was still very friendly conversation. You could tell what she was thinking in the previous language. You can tell the thought she was having because of what she says to correct it. Right? It was like, no. Like, it was still very friendly conversation. Well, who said it wasn't friendly? I didn't say it wasn't friendly. You didn't say it wasn't friendly. No one said it wasn't friendly. Why are you telling me it was still friendly? Why do you need to tell me that? No one said it wasn't. Who said it wasn't? Nicole? Who? So that's sort of leakage. So that's how your language sort of gives you away. She didn't even say that they were flirting or they were being inappropriate, but she's told us that they weren't being inappropriate. So why did you need to tell us that unless you were being inappropriate and you were thinking about that in your head, right? So like it was still very friendly conversation. The very in there is persuasive. Why would it be anything other than a friendly conversation? Apparently they were just talking at work and they just started hanging out. Like there was so much more going on so much earlier than what she wants us to believe, because it's all in the language here, right? She's trying to convince us that it was still very friendly. Like, you know, well then why did you have to take it away from the work phone? Why would you like, no, when you can't be doing this at the work phone? Oh, but it was still very friendly. What is all of this for, Nicole, if it's not to convince us of something which was happening? Convince us that something wasn't happening, that was happening. My brain. She's killing me. She's killing me. Oh, man. So I'm starting to feel a little bit for Kevin right now. Oh, imagine being stuck in a room with this woman for hours, trying to get a fully formed, reasonable, functional, coherent sentence out of her for 3 hours. Imagine. Poor Kevin. So it wasn't friendly at one point, right? She's basically telling us that. It wasn't friendly at that point. She's basically telling us that. But she wants us to believe that it was like very friendly here, okay? There's a need to convince. So it was likely more than friendly at this point. I'm personally thinking it was explicit, okay? But her narrative is that she's the good guy. She's the moral one. She's the good one. She wouldn't do anything explicit on the work phone because she wouldn't do that. It's wrong. But unless there was something, you know, you shouldn't be using the work phone for personal use. So even if it is just a friendly conversation, they shouldn't be doing it on the work phone. That's fair enough. That is true. Okay? That is true. But to be like, no, I doubt it was friendly conversation. I very much doubt it. Plus, they could have been, I mean, there's emails as well, but they're also work. So did he and her have personal emails, or were they only using the work emails? Because I know they were using work emails. I believe that's in the discovery. But was there ever the discovery of any personal emails, accounts between like Nicole and Chris? Were they, because if they're not, no, we shouldn't be doing this over the work phone, then it also should have been, we shouldn't be doing this via the work emails as well, because that's the same thing. Work is work. It's not for personal use. She wants us to think that this is all because of her morals and decency and respect, right? Which, then this comes up again and again and again. Her morals and decency and respect. Oh my, right? But then, when I realized, like, this man is interested in me, I am interested in him, this is personal. So how did you realize that? Back to square one. She just said, well, I think he was interested in me. He talked to me via his work phone a couple times, and I was like, no. But then I realized, she's jumped back in time. Because she's jumped back to say it was still very friendly conversation, but then I realized this man is interested in me. So how did you realize he was interested in you, Nicole? If it was just friendly conversation. Isn't that what you were trying to explain here in the first place? You're tripping yourself up. You're tripping yourself up, Nicole. You are so busy trying to fix and correct, and you are so busy trying to fabricate to make yourself look good and make up a story, right? It's not what happened. Because if if it happened, you would just say what happened and you wouldn't get confused like this. You're so busy fabricating, you can't even remember what you're trying to fabricate anymore. Because, so I thought he was interested in me. So, and because, so he talked to me a couple times on the work phone, via the work phone, and I was like, no. But like, it was still really friendly. So why were you like, no, if it was still really friendly? But then I realized this man's interested in me. I'm interested in him. How? How did you realize that? You could have realized you're interested in him, but you can't speak for how did you realize, not I found out, or then he told me. No, but then when I realized, like, this man is interested in me, I am interested in, and it's not, and I'm interested in him. There's no and there. There should be an and there. There's not. This is personal. What have I got written here? Okay. But negates everything that came before it. Refutes everything that came before it. So, like, it was still a very friendly conversation, but then when I realized, that's throw that away, right? Because there's a but there. So don't worry about any of what she just said. It wasn't still a very friendly conversation. It wasn't. And she didn't think he was interested here. She realized. I think he was interested in me. Then when I realized, so you've gone from thinking, you're trying to explain why you thought, and now you've realized. So how did you realize? How did you realize? So you knew. When you realize something, you come to know it. You discover it, right? That's what realize means. So how did you come to know it? How did you discover that he was interested in you? Because before you thought he was interested in you. Now you've realized that he's interested in you. But it was still like very friendly conversation. So how, Nicole, did you realize? What happened? What was said? Who said it? How did you realize he was interested in you? I am interested in him. You didn't realize that though. You already knew that. But then, but then and when are also two references to time. Again, when I realized, like, this man, not Chris, this man. So she's distancing herself from Chris, okay? But it's not that man, it's this man. It's not he. It's not Chris. It's this man. So do you see how that's distancing, but also keeping it closer? Right? So there is distancing there, okay? I am interested in him, not this man. She's interested in him, okay? This is personal. Doesn't need to be personal. You're interested in each other. That's goes without saying. It's not professional. It wasn't professional. Even if it was like still very like friendly conversation, that's not professional. It's not work related. It's still personal. Oh, this woman. Oh, this woman. Oh my God. Help. Help. Somebody help. Does she? Oh, are you with me? Are you still with me? This is a tough one. This is a tough one. And you know what? I know it's only going to get worse. But we're still going to do it. We're still doing it. We're doing this. We're doing this. And the reason we're doing this, I should have said this at the start of the video. If you're still here, right, an hour and a half in, if you're still here, and this will be video 11, I think, this one I'm recording now. I think this will be video 11. If you're 11 videos deep and you're still here watching an hour and a half in, listening to me and think and cry and grunt and whinge about Nicole, you're on Watts Island. You've been on Watts Island for a while, okay? A lot of us have, right? And the thing about this, and I've seen other statement analysis, we've talked about this already, they're not going very deep into it. We're going really deep into this, like word by word deep, okay? And it takes a long time. It takes a long time. We're going to be here for a long time. The reason that we're here is because, look, everybody's listened, not everybody. There's some people that don't believe she had anything to do with it and that she's completely innocent. And that's fine. And you know what? If you're here watching this, fantastic. Welcome. If you disagree with what I'm saying, if you have an opinion, if you want to challenge, push back, put it in the comments. I welcome it. Peter Hyatt says you should always try and blow holes in everything, because only then do you know that it's solid. If you can't blow holes in it, okay? You want to come and try and blow holes through my analysis? Absolutely go for it. Go for it. I welcome it, okay? We don't want to live in an echo chamber, right? There's going to be a lot of us, maybe all of us that are here. I don't know if people that don't agree with what I'm saying will want to listen to all of this. Maybe they will. I hope that they will, okay? But we don't want to live in an echo chamber. So I want people that want to push back. I want people that want to challenge this. And I want you to put it in the comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me where you think I'm wrong. Tell me why you think I'm wrong. Do it. We can have a conversation about it. You can just tell me your opinion, whatever you like. It's up to you. But the people that are of the opinion that there should be more investigation and that she is involved somehow in some way, more than what she's saying, whatever. There's different degrees, okay, of what people think. Different opinions. But the people that think she's hiding something and she's involved, it's because we can pick up on these things in language, right? We don't always know why and what we're picking up on. We know that something's not right. We know we don't believe someone, but we don't know why. This is going to tell us why, okay? We think that she's hiding stuff. We think she's not being honest. This is going to tell us what she's hiding to a certain degree. And this is going to tell us why to a certain degree, and also where. It's all in her language. That's why we're here, okay? That's why we're here. We want to know what she's lying about. We want to know where she's lying. We want to know why she's lying. Is she covering something up? Is she hiding something? Was she involved? Is she just trying to pretend that she's the good guy? Like, what are her intentions here behind the deception? Okay. Oh, she hurts my brain. So, yeah, but then when I realized, so there's when I realized, so there's a specific time that she's telling us that she realized. When I realized, so when was this magical moment, this epiphany that you had, Nicole, where you realized this man is interested in me? When was it? What happened? Tell us. I want to know. I don't think she cared if he was interested or not. I think she just assumed he would be, and she just chased him until he was, because a man like Chris wouldn't have a lot of attention from women, and when someone like her was chasing him as hard as she was, I don't think that there was any other I don't think there was any other outcome but for him to become interested at some point. I don't. It was just inevitable. And I think that's what she thought too. She's like, he's not going to knock me back. He's just not. And he didn't. And then when she realized, I've done it, it's worked. Apparently, she realized at some point, this man is interested in me. What was it? What did it, Nicole? What was it? When was it? Tell me. I want to know. I am interested in him. We know. But you're also not realizing that at some point. You already were. You all along were interested in him because you pursued him and chased him. And you Googled him before you even Googled Shanann. You Googled him in, was it 2000 and... I was listening to a video today. 2016 or 2017, you Googled Chris Watts before you Googled Shanann Watts. So you knew Chris, you knew about him first. You probably found out he was married after you Googled him, and then you Googled his wife to see who she was and what she looked like and stuff. That's what I think. This is personal. It was always personal, like we said before. Even if it was still friendly conversation, it was personal, it wasn't work related. So blimey. She's trying to make it sound like she had this realization that, oh, this is personal. This isn't work related. We shouldn't do this on the work phone. It never was work related. It was friendly conversation. This man distancing. She's trying to distance them from each other in this language because she's trying to convince us that it wasn't a we. Like, that was still very friendly conversation. So she's putting distance between them with this man, right? But it already was inappropriate, at least for work. And because he was married, it was inappropriate in every possible way already. And I believe it was explicit already at this point as well. So she's trying to convince us that it wasn't anything more than just friendly, because it was. Because at this point in her story, it already was inappropriate for work. It was inappropriate because he was married. And her narrative is that she's moral and respectful. And where is it? I can't see where it was. Oh, moral and decent and respectful. But she's not, right? That's her narrative. So she's got to try and repair these little slip-ups she's had. And this is her trying to fix it. When I realized you were interested in him the whole time. You sought him out. You pursued him. It's just, I can't even believe she's saying this. It's so ridiculous. I am interested in him. I am interested in him. So she's changed her tense as well. But then when I realized in past tense, like, this man is interested in me, I am interested in him, this is personal, she's changed to present tense. And when people change from past to present tense and they swap back and forth, when they change tense, it's usually an indicator of deception, okay? Not always, because if there's trauma involved or someone's reliving the moment, there's other reasons for it. But generally, like this, in a statement like this, it indicates deception. It indicates fabrication because they're making it up in present time. So they changed to present tense. They're not recalling it from the past, which would be a memory from the past. She's so this is personal. This is personal. There's a this again now. This, she's referring to this. She's done this before. She's referred to this before. And the this she's referring to is like their relationship. This is personal. This that's going on between us, right? This relationship. So, highest sensitivity again. We got away from the Anadarko thing. We got away from the Anadarko thing. So I said no, and we got away from the Anadarko thing. This is very distancing, okay? Because she doesn't want to be, we're nearly 2 hours in. This is what she does to me. This is what she does to me. My brain, I can't think. She doesn't want to be associated with the inappropriate goings on with the work phone and the married man. Okay, so we got away from the Anadarko thing. Got away is an interesting phrase. I think we're going to finish on this sentence. Oh, this is the last one in this block anyway. Oh, we got through the block, guys. Oh, no, we didn't. I'm going to endeavor to get through this block, which is 2 more sentences in this video. And I don't want to really make it much longer than 2 hours. I think 2 hours, 10 minutes, 2 hours and 8 minutes. That's kind of 2 hours is our max. I don't really want to go longer than that. Unless we have lives or something and we can discuss things and talk. Because 2 hours is a long time, and I appreciate your time. I appreciate you being here. You don't have to watch these videos all in one hit as well. Like, you can watch them in half-hour units, or watch half of it and then half of it another time. You don't have to watch the whole thing, and I appreciate your time more than you know, because if anyone understands how much time this is taking, it's me. Because I'm here with you. I'm here with you. I'm going through it with you. In real time, guys. We're doing this in real time. Because I can't edit. So, I'm going to try and get through these 2 sentences tonight. Let's do it. Let's do this. Let's get this block out of the way. Yeah? I'm excited. Now I lost my place. Good one. Good one, Nancy, no friends. Okay. All right, so highest sensitivity. So we know, she keeps repeating this. This whole block is so sensitive to her. And you know what I think about that. I think it's because it's all bull dust. We got away from the Anadarko thing. Then we've got because. So, and then because, so close together. This is insane, right? This is very sensitive to her. This is very sensitive. I wonder. Oh, guys. Oh my gosh. I'm just, in my head, I was just thinking, why is this so incredibly sensitive to her? Because it's a work phone. Because it's the work phone. And she's in an interview with the authorities. She's just told him they were communicating via the work phone. And the work phone, the Anadarko could just hand them the work phone, and then they would have it and they could go through it. And they could see everything that's said. She's trying to back them. She's like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that about the work phone. So, they were still very friendly. Oh, we stopped that straight away. Oh, we stopped that because I wanted to get away from that Anadarko thing because I really don't want those guys affiliated with this. She doesn't want them to go after the work phone and see what's in it. Oh my gosh. That's why. That's why. And that's why she's mentioning, and then I realized, like, this man is interested in me. I'm interested. There's stuff on the work phone. There's stuff on the work phone, guys. Does everyone already know this but me? You know why I'm excited? I'm excited because it's come out through the language. It's not come out through discovery that they had Chris's work phone and there was text messages and whatever found on there. It's in the language. Do you see how we can get information out of the language? Do you see? Wow, this is so exciting because this means I don't even know what's coming. Like, we don't even know what's coming, guys. We could, oh, wow. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. All right. It's getting interesting now, everyone, no one, whoever's watching. Okay. This is why she's so sensitive about this. This is why there's the 3 of the highest sensitivity indicators in here. This is why she's interrupting the flow. She keeps stopping and self-editing and correcting and thinking and like, oh no, I shouldn't have said that. I got to fix that. Oh no, I shouldn't have said that. I've said too much. And she keeps trying to fix and back it off and fix and back it off. That's why. Now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. No, he didn't. I think he was probably interested in me. She should have left it at that, but she didn't. And this is where it all comes tumbling down. This is where she makes the mistake. And thinking she needs to explain that because she doesn't. She should have just left it. That's completely reasonable. They ended up having an affair. You can think someone's interested in you. You can be wrong too. You can still think it. You can be right. You can be wrong. You can think it. You don't need a reason to think it. That's where it all comes tumbling down. And so is that first high indicator. He talked to me a couple times via his work phone. And I was like, oh no, I shouldn't have said that. No, it was still a very friendly conversation. But then when I realized, like, this man is interested in me and I'm interested in him, this is personal. So we got away from the Anadarko thing because I really don't want those guys affiliated with any of this. So I knew he was interested in me because he flirted with me via the work phone. Oh my God, they might want to check the work phone, and there's stuff on there that's going to be really, really bad if they see it. But like, it was very friendly still, but then like I realized he's interested in me and I'm interested in him, and we stopped using it. So don't check it. Don't worry about it. We stopped using it. So don't look. Because I don't want them, I don't want them to have to, it's not fair. What'd she say about Jim? Oh, leave Jim alone. Leave Jim alone. It's not fair to drag him into this. I don't want to drag Anadarko into this, She doesn't want them to check the work phone. Wow. Okay. Got away. What happens when you don't get caught for something? You got away with it, didn't you? You got away with it. That's very interesting phrasing, Nicole. So we got away. So more than one person got away. Gee, I wonder who else was involved that we don't want to drag into this because it's not fair on him. So we got away from the Anadarko thing. So now she's distancing. She's panicking, man. She doesn't even want to say the work phone. She doesn't even want to say the work phone again. Don't mention the work phone. Now it's the Anadarko thing. The Anadarko thing. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about that. We just wanted to get away from that Anadarko thing. Don't worry about it. Wow. Can't even say work phone. She can't even say it again. So we got away from the Anadarko thing. Is the thing the work phone? Because higher sensitivity, I really don't want those guys affiliated with any of this. This is what gives it away, okay? That's not what she thought back then when they got away from the Anadarko thing, which was the work phone, right? When she said, no, like, no, that's all she said. That's all she said. So back before, right, over here, or over here if you're watching the other way, no, over here. Facing the cameras, turn around. Oh, stop. Just carry on with the analysis. So here we've got when he talked to me a couple times via the work phone, and I was like, no. Like it was still a very friendly conversation, but then I realized this man is interested in me and I'm interested in him and this is personal. So we got away from the Anadarko thing here when they were talking back then on the work phone, right? And they stopped talking on the work phone here, okay? Because I really don't want those guys affiliated with any of this. What's this? Is this the mess that they're in? Is this the reason she's being interviewed right now? Is this the annihilation of a whole family that's just happened now, hadn't happened back here? Oops. 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 Oops, Nicole. Oh. So we got away from the Anadarko thing, the work phone, because I really don't, present tense, not past tense, over here, back here, I didn't want those guys involved in our affair. I didn't want those guys affiliated. Why that word? Why that word? Wow, okay. They weren't involved in the affair. You would have got in trouble for using a work phone, a professional device, or a work device for personal use and for inappropriate personal use, to be fair. Back here is when you stopped, when you got away from the Anadarko thing, the work phone. So you got away from the Anadarko thing back here because this is why you got away from it back here. Apparently. I really don't now, present tense, current time of the interview in the investigation, want those guys distancing again. Could say Anadarko, but you say those guys. It's very distancing. Affiliated with any of this. Hi, I'm the big mess you're in. Wow. Seriously, wow, guys. Seriously, wow. That just proves that she's not talking about this back here, because she's talking about this that's happening now. So all of this is garbage. All of this is fabricated. This is all made up. This is all her panicking. This is all her trying to protect herself, push her narrative, fix mistakes she's made, leakage, and making it worse. That's what all of this is. I'm going to quickly read through what I've said here, okay? It's not that much more. Yeah, we've still got a few minutes. We can go through this. Oh man, that was a big finish, guys. All of that time and work and struggle to get through that block. And then, wow, oh boy, was it worth it, right? That was a good one. That was so satisfying. I'm so excited to continue after this, because it's only going to get better from here. And I mean, we know what happened. It's not a fun or a happy thing at all, okay? I just get excited about statement analysis. Sometimes I have to remember the subject matter and calm it down a little bit and be a bit more respectful of the people who we're talking about. But I do get excited about statement analysis. It is my passion, and this is why. And I'm glad we're finding what we're finding in her statement, because I don't care about her. I don't. All right, so what have I got written here? So, realizing about him. So I wonder, okay, no, that's fine. We went through all of that. That's fine. So we got away. I'm still on this is personal thing. That's okay. We'll come back to it. So any of this is an investigation of a crime, of a serious crime. We know what the crime was. It was the deletion of an entire family, minus one. Any of this, what? Talk about minimizing and distancing. She's referring to it like it's just an affair, like it's just a messy, embarrassing, unprofessional situation that looks bad for her, not what actually happened and how serious it is and how awful and horrific and just devastating it is. Like, take that in for a second. I really don't want those guys affiliated with any of this. What? Any of this? Wow. Okay. Talk about distancing and minimizing and disrespect, by the way, from someone who's so moral and decent and respectful. So how would she have known any of this back then? Like I said before, she's talking about why they got away from the work phone that they were being inappropriate on back then, but they got away from that back then because she doesn't want them involved in this that's happening now that hadn't happened yet back then. What? Not thinking very clearly, are you? Panicking, scrambling. A more expected way to say that would have been something like, it was not appropriate. I didn't want to get in trouble. Past tense about the relevant situation that she was talking about. Unreal, man. Unreal. She doesn't say didn't, past tense. She says don't, present tense. She doesn't currently want them affiliated. But she's talking about a past thought, event, time, right? Doesn't make sense. Because is the highest sensitivity. She says so and because right beside each other here, basically, within the two sentences next to each other, she's got so and because. No, sorry, it's one sentence. It's the same sentence. This block, she says she has 3 indicators of the highest sensitivity. Deception is indicated. This is extreme sensitivity here. Extreme. There's only 2 things that are of the highest sensitivity. And she mentions one of them 3 times here in a few sentences. I can't emphasize enough how extreme this sensitivity is. The sensitivity is about the work phone. She doesn't want them looking at the work phone. Now, if someone can tell me in the comments, did they look at the work phone, at Chris's work phone? I know she told him to delete everything. I don't know if he deleted everything off the work phone and his personal phone or not, but she doesn't want them looking at the work phone, okay? That's why this is sensitive. She realized she screwed up. She made a mistake. She realized, okay? She shouldn't have mentioned the work phone. There's something she's not telling us, the work phone. Actually, she did tell us. It's not something she's not telling us. She did tell us by accident, and that's why she's freaking out. This would require more questions, and now we know what we're asking about, okay? It's the work phone. So I've got here, things are sensitive around crossing the line from friendly at work to more than that, and using Anadarko phones. Affiliated is an unexpected word as well. Involved would be more expected. Involved would be more expected. Affiliated is usually used with, you know, group, party, company, organization. It's like an official term. It's an official capacity. Affiliated is, you know what, I'm going to actually look up the meaning of affiliated because it's such a strange word to have there. She's trying to make herself sound really official and professional and proper again. So let's look at the actual definition. Being officially connected. Okay, so that it works, right? Being officially connected, but it's an official word, right? It's like it's not a casual word. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Being officially connected, associated, or attached to a larger group, organization, or institution. So it doesn't actually work it's not really the right word because it's a professional word. It's a corporate word. It's to do with organizations, companies, parties, corporations. It means you're attached to a larger group, organization, or institution. It's not a larger group, organization, or institution being attached to you. It doesn't work. It's not. She's saying it on purpose to try and, because she's just screwed up big time, and she's trying to get them away from the phone. I wouldn't do that because I'm so moral and decent and respectful. I don't want them affiliated with. That's not the right word. It's not. It doesn't fit. Sounds odd, right? It sounded odd, yeah? When I read through it, you all went, that affiliated, that sounds odd. I know you did because I did the same thing. Corporate and organizational, academic and medical, or individual membership. But membership is like a union member, like officially recognized as a member or partner of an organization. It's all this organization attached. Academic, medical, corporate, and organizational. It's not that they're not affiliated. The corporation, the organization, the business, the company isn't affiliated with you or this issue. affiliated is when something's attached to the corporation. It doesn't work. Why did she say? She's trying to make herself sound intelligent, intellectual. Like she's trying to... Oh, this is all narrative. This is all narrative. So we got away from the Anadarko thing, right? What an odd way to say that. So is the higher sensitivity, as we know. Again, she is explaining without being asked. Why she put a stop to them talking on the work phone in the past, because she didn't want Anadarko affiliated with it, with any of this that's happening now that hadn't happened back then yet. She's amazing. But she says it like she said that with conviction. Not really with conviction, actually. She didn't use any qualifiers there. She did say that with conviction. I really don't want... So she stressed that, okay? She's emphasized that she doesn't want them affiliated with them. Don't look at the work phone. Don't look at the work phone. That's what she's saying. The work phone that you just brought up, that you mentioned, that you said you were talking to Chris on before he did what he did to his entire family, that you allegedly didn't know about or have anything to do with. I'm sorry. This is so funny. This is so funny, guys. If you're laughing with me, if you think this is funny, oh, maybe you don't think. Is it just me that thinks this is funny? I'm not laughing at what happened. I'm laughing at her right now, just telling us don't look at the work phone. Oops. All right. If you think this is funny as well, put an emoji or something in the comments so I know it's not just me laughing. Maybe I'm just overtired, but I just think this is brilliant. We got away from the Anadarko thing. I've got here, what is the Anadarko thing and why doesn't she want to say it? Distancing language. We got away is a common usage of that phrase for like evasion, getting away with something like a crime, for instance. Yeah, I've got in the notes here, like I've picked it up, but didn't realize what it was. I've just realized in the video in real time, guys, you were here for it when I had this revelation. Got away from the Anadarko thing. What is the Anadarko thing? Well, it's the work phone. Guys, we know that now. Amazing. And why doesn't she want to say it? Gee, because she wants everyone to forget. She's just mentioned it because she doesn't want anyone to look at it. Just forget about the phone. Don't look at the phone, right? And yeah, got away with, that's interesting language. Because, I mean, that's what people say when they've gotten away with something, isn't it? Got away with, so we got away from the, get away from the phone. Get away from the phone, the work phone. Get away from it, right? Oh my gosh, this is crazy. How funny. Because I really don't want those guys of, it's not about me, guys, because I'm so thoughtful and respectful and decent and considerate, and I don't want them to have to deal with this. I don't want them associated with this. I don't want them involved. I don't want them to get involved because I'm so kind and thoughtful, and it's not fair on them. Not because you don't want to be busted for whatever's on that phone. That's not why. It's not about me and me getting busted for what I did and what I've said and what you might possibly allegedly find on that work phone. It's not about me. It's about them. I'm going to leave it there tonight because we got to the end of that block. We could probably get more out of that last bit, but I'll put that in some notes we'll go over later. thank you so much for being here, guys. I'm stoked. I don't know if I'll be able to sleep now. I'm so excited. I just want to carry on, but I can't because she's drained me and I just can't. I can't do any more tonight anyway. I think 2 hours or thereabouts is my limit with her in the evenings. So thank you so much for being here. Please leave a comment. We'll chat down there if you I've been getting back to everyone because I'm a new channel, so I don't have very many comments, so I don't have to really keep up with anything. So I'll chat with you in the comments, and I can't wait to see you next time. It's getting, I don't want to say it's getting exciting because of the subject matter, but that it is getting very, the statement analysis is getting very interesting now, and I'm excited to see what we can get out of it. I really am. So again, thank you so much for being here. If you have made it to the end, that's wonderful. Thank you. If you haven't already liked, subscribed, leave a comment, something, just interact with the video in some way or all of the ways. It really will help the channel to grow a little bit, just get more eyes on it, because like we said from the start, the whole reason we're making this channel, although we enjoy it and we're having fun and it's interesting and we're learning, it is really ultimately in the hopes that it can help down the track with someone that is involved. That's why I'm doing these, okay? So any kind of interaction, like, subscribe, comment, will help the channel to get more eyes on it. But thank you for being here. I'm so excited to grow our little community that's growing slowly, but it is growing. And I appreciate your time more than you know. And thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.